for me, my mom is, I think, probably the biggest influence in terms of just an everyday source of energy, if I have to sum it up, right?
Life,
Because
yeah.
I look up to her. And I always mentioned this in a lot of interviews in the past also. It's always been like mom being around me and nodding her head, which gives me validation, right? Like it's intense because she's like 1,000 times more creative than like I probably ever will be.
For sure,
you know?
for sure. I feel
Yeah. It's crazy. Like, so today, whatever I do, it's only because I've like watched her, do her thing growing up. So it's such a real life role model with me, and that is one person that I can name. And I think everybody else in my life and every piece of content and people and influences from 10,000 things,
a lot of pieces
is in pieces, so it's more or less this what I can tell you.
And are your parents musicians as well, or do they sing? Are they inclined?
So my mom's an Indian classical singer. She's an HOD at DPS, and
nice. In music, music HOD.
In performing arts.
Nice.
Music.
Okay. Sweet.
And my dad plays the tabla, but professionally he works at ICICI. He's a banker professionally. But mom is still catering to the music side of things. So I've always had music at home.
And how did you get into what's your first exposure to electronic music and being a producer? How did that happen?
I heard my first Tiesto bootleg in I think 2012 or something. This was, I think, I remember this because that was the first song that really pulled me towards learning more about electronic music at the time, right? And this is around the time when I was dropping out of school. Or it even had thoughts of doing it at the time. And I originally started off as a vocalist, right? I learned Indian classical gaiki, so I had education in vocal side of things, but production is where I had no idea. And I'll tell you why. For me, that was a very interesting thing because right around the time I also learned about electronic music, I was also really badly in the need of complete creative control over a track, right? I was just into the desire of that, and that could only happen if I could learn production and have complete control over track, which today when I look back to it is okay, cool, me, simple situation. If I'm just sitting and an idea hits me, and if I'm able to from scratch build it to bring it to completion, that for me is the biggest
satisfaction,
sense of power, satisfaction, and that is. So that is what I was in pursuit of back in 2012, 2011, right? So that's how I got into production. And I remember YouTube being the guru.
Of course. Right? Still is.
Yeah, still is. And that's how it started. I dove so much. I completely dove myself into production, right? At the point where if you listen to my initial work, if you listen to Yug, the album that I put out, it's basically instrumental. There's very little.
And it's very produced. It's even the sound is very produced, right? As opposed to maybe what you're doing now, which is also produced, I'm sure, but much more organic. Songs you make.
Now it's reached a point where it's become a mix. What is funny is that the first 1 or 2 tracks that I had made were a good mix of my instrumental expression and my vocals, and I completely went into an electronic instrumental zone.
Right.
Then ended up with Ud Gaya. I think I came back to finding a mix between the two, and today it's, I think, a fair share. I honestly don't look at my vocals also as me, I'm singing. I look at that also as an instrument, right? For me, it's every section of a song is just an instrument. I'm a conductor, and I treat music like that. So yeah.